Y'all know life is a journey, not a destination. And oftentimes, in the midst of things, we don't see the beauty of it because we're too hung up on what we don't like and what we can fix and change in the midst of it and where we want to be at compared to where we are currently. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Cherika Brown, of course, and we're on another episode of Cherika Be Talking, because I be talking. In today's episode, we're going to talk about sometimes you have to do what you have to do in order to do what you want to do. And we all are familiar with that particular quote, but I just thought about that quote because sometimes, especially if you are in America, if you have ever worked for corporate America, worked for corporate America, or is going to work for corporate America, one thing everybody have in common is that sometimes, no matter what big of a grand company you work for, corporate America, or just a job anyways, can feel like the 13th grade. And what I mean by the 13th grade is oftentimes people make the jokes by a particular college you go to. They say, oh, that's not college, that's the 13th grade. Everywhere there is, a social construct, and we always say the saying, you ain't a boss if you got a boss. And essentially that's what working in corporate America feels like, because you always felt like you are being little girl or little boy, no matter what your position is, no matter how high up you are, you always have someone that is above you. That's why when somebody's going to complain on a company or anything, they was like, well, they say I spoke with the boss, and they was like, well, even the boss got a boss. So I need to speak to the biggest boss. Like, people always are trying to go higher up when they're making a complaint or when they're expressing their concerns about a company. And ultimately, everybody have somebody that you technically report to. And when you are in corporate America for such a long time or a certain period of time, sometimes you could not be working in your purpose. A lot of times, most people aren't. There's a few people, a handful of people that you can meet, and they love their corporate job. They love waking up. They love going to it. It's just the dream job, and it wasn't just for the first week. Like, it lasted forever. Like, they wouldn't choose to do anything else but their job. Those people are likely working in their purpose. You even have, like, if you go to a restaurant, sometimes you just notice that there's that server that's been working there since you were young, and she's been working there for 20, 30 years, and she carries the same smile, the same light about herself, the same happiness, joy, and you could tell she's possibly working in her purpose, in her calling. And then you have those of us that may go to our corporate jobs, and the smallest things that a manager or boss or higher up may require or ask of us, it almost feel like they are irritant, or they are nagging you, or they're micromanaging you. And those are signs sometimes that you're not working or operating in your purpose, even if you are good at it. It's just the job itself irritates you. You have to give yourself a pep talk. You have to pray through it every single day. You have to, mentally prepare yourself just to clock in. It feels like a job just to go to the job. Like, it doesn't get you out of your bed with excitement. Everything about it is just dreadful. And that is a perfect example of doing what you have to do until you're able to do what you want to do. And if you are a true entrepreneur, you know that entrepreneurship is not easy at all, because entrepreneurship is not something that's stable, in the sense that you know exactly what you're going to make, when you're going to make it, and you constantly have to be working and producing in order to make money with entrepreneurship, especially if you don't have a team and you're just working by yourself and alone. So the perks of corporate America is being able to get a consistent check and benefits and just things of that sort. However, most people who would rather work in their purpose, question that they ask themselves is these perks and is this consistency of a check that I feel like I really could be making more, or should be making more, is it worth my mental health, my sanity, and my peace? And a lot of times the answer is no, because our generation have reached a point, and I think that's why most people, we say like our generation is lazy and most people don't want to work. That's a different topic and a different subject, because like I said, you have to do what you have to do in the meantime until you're able to do what you want to do. And a lot of people lack that ability to do what they have to do because of privilege and just living in la delusion land. But those of us that actually do what we have to do for the moment, it's tough, just because it's a constant everyday battle that you're having to fight and having to come to terms with and having to come to grips with. But it should be motivation, and it should serve as a purpose for when you get off of your job. Don't just let when you're in your corporate America role to be irritated for those 8 hours and then you go home and you just look at it to unwind, rest, look at TV. You have to be in that season of doing what you have to do, meaning when you get off for 8 hours for working for somebody else, you got to work another 8 to 12 hours for yourself. And you got to continuously do that until you're able to just work for yourself and you can let go of corporate America and just focus on building your own dreams. And my life coach had a quote that said, if you don't work hard for your dreams, somebody else will. If you don't build your own dreams, somebody will hire you to help build theirs. And essentially that's what you're doing when you're working in corporate America or for a corporation. You're helping someone else build a dream that they likely just had in their mind as an idea themselves. So the whole point is just believing in yourself and making goals, sticking to them, and determining how you're going to achieve them. And also sometimes you don't even have a plan, but it's just doing something and being obedient and praying to God to guide you and show you the way. And hopefully things will turn around for the better, because I don't think that God put us on this earth to dread our days or dread certain days, or, to not like certain days. And as a person that has worked in corporate America, I can tell you that some days I didn't even care. From hearing from a higher up, and like if you're going through a season in your life, like you can go through sad seasons in your life, and sometimes it can spill over into your workplace. Depending on what type of work you do, it can make you slack up on your work. And then sometimes when you hear from a higher up, you really don't even want to hear it, and you know the value that you can bring to a company because you interact with other coworkers and colleagues. And when you are higher up than other people that has to report to you or get things up to you, you see that you bring and add value to a company. So sometimes you can get in a mentality, a mindset of, if they gotta let me go or do whatever they gotta do, let them do whatever they gotta do, because I know my worth and I know how much I bring to this company. Like I bring as much to this company as they bring to me in my pay or whatever. But you have to get out of that selfish mindset and always just approach work, no matter what it is, as a servant of God. And know that even when you're not working in your purpose and you're not doing something you want to do, show up every day and be the best that you can be in whatever that you do. Do it like you love it. And that way, people that you interact with can't even tell that you don't love it. And I believe that you will receive so many more blessings just by treating something that you don't want with value, because God sees those things. And like I said in the beginning, life is a journey, it's not a destination. A part of your journey and the reason you're having to work a job or something that you don't even want to work is because God is developing your character in that season. It's something that you need to take from the role that you're currently in that you don't quite understand, but it's going to help you for the next level. But you're not going to get to the next level if you don't pass the test on this level. So see how your character is being changed in the season or in the job or in the place that you don't want to be in, that you probably cry at night, or you feel depressed, or you just feel like downtrodden and you feel like defeated. See how you're changing or how the job is shaping you into a better you. And I promise you, when you get to wherever you're going or your next destination in your journey, you would look back in your rear view and you would see, wow, I had to go through that in order to become this person for this particular role I'm in currently, or this particular thing that I'm engaging in currently. So y'all, life is a journey, not a destination. Don't get too hung up on where you want to be in life. Enjoy the now without being complacent. Enjoy every aspect of your life, no matter how old you are. Age is just a number. no matter where you are, where other people are, your colleagues or anything, compare yourself only to the old you, not to people around you or anything. Find happiness and gratitude where you are currently in life, and your mental health will just improve so much more. And I'm not telling you to accept the bare minimum or accept where you are in life. I'm just telling you to be grateful for it and work towards something bigger, whatever you feel like your calling is. Now, y'all, today is Saturday and it is January 17th. Today, our verse of the day is, even on my servants, both men and women, I will pour out my spirit in those days. That's Joel 2:29. Here we go. And I already made my notes here for this particular one. I'm just going to read from my notes. I said, God's spirit is available to everyone, not just special prophets and leaders. This emphasizes everyone's capability of having a personal relationship with God. We don't need anyone else to get access or hear from God. And that's the beauty of being Christian and being a Christian. Basically, we get to practice relationship instead of religion. We have a personal relationship with God. How special do you feel knowing that God cares so much about you and you're just a little speck in this whole entire universe? We are so small compared to this entire big universe, but God cares about us. We are so special that God made every single thing about us unique, and everything about our life He had planned out for us way before we were even created. When we were in the womb, God knew how we would be and where we would go and the things we would do and what we would be doing at this very moment. That's the beauty of it. We serve a loving God, a careful God, and a particular God, and a God that we can talk to and we can depend on, and that we can hold accountable and we can expect blessings from God. So when you pray with expectancy. My light just went out a little, y'all, but I'm almost done here. So, and this can relate back to our message of today, just how, you know, He's available. His spirit is available to all of us. So the reason that we're able to have a personal relationship with God is because He made it that way. It's not because you went and spoke with a pastor or with a prophet or someone who claimed to be God's chosen one. We are special to Him, and whatever we want out of this life or we need out of this life, as long as we're not asking it simply just for selfish gain, if we work hard towards it and we speak with God and listen so that we can hear from God, we're guaranteed to live a more fulfilled life. So I hope this message helps somebody, and I hope it encourages y'all. And I hope y'all just think about it and think about where you are in life, where you want to be, and just about your purpose and what you find yourself enjoy doing. And it could be the smallest things. Just try and figure yourself out. Don't give up on life, and just look at life with gratitude. Y'all know I'll be back because I'll be talking. Peace.